So look, if you want to grow your wealth, your income, and increase the amount of time off, then these are the shortcuts that can help. Welcome to the Wealth Creation Podcast.
Welcome. My name's Dan Latto. We're on the Mindset and Hustle Show. I'm a little bit exhausted. We've just been playing basketball with my good friend Richard here in Spain. Every Friday we play basketball 9:30. Richard won some games, everybody. And here we are. We're going to talk about the no-win situation and why I don't believe in it. And yet I lost at basketball today. How do I reconcile those two things? And so it's very important for us to go through this. And you might be asking, Kobayashi Maru, what is Kobayashi Maru? Well, Kobayashi Maru is a Star Trek thing. Don't go. It's a Star Trek thing. And it basically means, Captain Kirk said, I don't believe in a no-win situation. The Kobayashi Maru is a test of cadets in Starfleet. And in order to pass and become a captain, they or go on the command track, they have to pass the Kobayashi Maru test, which is about them getting out of a no-win situation. Nobody had ever beaten it until Captain Kirk turned up and he beat it. And if you've seen any of the films, you'll understand how and why, but I'm not going to spoil that bit for you. So there's a line in one of the previous films, and he says, I just never believed in a no-win situation. And I remember as a young kid watching that and thinking, do you know what? That's pretty cool. I love the idea of not believing. Forget about whether it's true. Forget about that. Most beliefs aren't true anyway. I think about that for a second. Most beliefs aren't true anyway. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy enough. I can't make £1 million. I can't speak on stage. All this stuff. I can't win, 10-0 down. I can't win 11-0. It's the belief system. Whether it's true or not is completely irrelevant. It's about what you believe. And the not winning or not losing in a no-win situation is something that's carried me through a long way, because it's enabled me to start to, rephrase or reframe, using an NLP term, to reframe whatever it is that I happen to be going through. And so I will tell you how Kirk won it. He changed the rules of the game. He didn't beat the game. He changed the rules. He cheated, as Spock said. He went in before and he reprogrammed it so that he could win. There's a very funny scene with Chris Pine, who's playing Captain Kirk, and he's eating his apple, and he's like, because he cheated on the game. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that you cheat on the game, but I'm saying that you can change what you believe winning or losing actually means. It's really important, because we're on the Mindset and Hustle Show. And if you can change what winning and losing actually means, you get to come back and fight another day. So, for example, this morning, played basketball. Thoroughly enjoyed playing with Richard, shooting some crazy, falling out of bounds, 3-point shots, and like the going. And I love playing basketball anyway, but doing all this crazy stuff, I love it. And Richard won 3 games today, which is really, really good. Doesn't normally win a game. I don't know if you're watching Richard. It doesn't normally win, because I'm very competitive. I have to win, right? So obviously that's a no-win situation because I lost. But the question is, how do you reframe that? Because when we go back next week, or I'm not here next week, but next week or the next session, I'm like, I have to adapt my game to make sure he never gets into that situation where he can win. Okay, like I did let him shoot the threes, and he was hitting some good 3-point shots. I wanted him to get into rhythm so that he actually won too. And so the reason for that is the next time I have to step up my game from here to here. And if he wins that, I have to step up again. And when you're getting better at stuff, you have to step up your game. And this is why, when I played basketball and we played against a team who wasn't very good, they would kick our ass. And they would kick our ass because we were coming like, oh, very easy, we'll easily win that. And so our effort levels aren't as high as they should be. And when we play a good team, our effort levels are way up here and we beat the other team. Okay, so that's why this stuff's really important. But it's about you understanding how you approach winning and how you approach losing. Right now, me and my 5-year-old, we play Monopoly. And, there's no luck on this game. You roll the dice and it's whatever the game gives you. But one of the things that I can teach her is how to win and how to lose. And if you lose, what you need to do in order to learn from it so that you can win on the next one. That's why I don't believe in a no-lose situation, because you either win or you learn. Say that again. You either win or you learn. And if I'm not winning, I'm learning. How cool is that? But you're only learning if that's the attitude that you're going to have. If your attitude is, well, I play to win, and if I don't win, I go in a mood. That's me, by the way. I have to win. I'm a dreadful, dreadful loser. And I love, by the way, Kobe Bryant, basketball player, after a bad game, he would go immediately after and he would watch tape. He would watch the video and he would watch his performance. And he was speaking to one of the female WNBA, the women's NBA basketball, and she just wouldn't watch what she would do if she had a bad game. And he's like, you've got to go back and you've got to analyze. And this is the key right here: is you've got to start analyzing how you are performing. This is really key. If you're not analyzing how you're performing, how the hell do you know? It's like playing basketball, not keeping score. How do you know if you're winning? How do you know if your strategy is winning? And one of the great ways for us to keep score right now is how much cash you got in the bank right now. By the way, it's not the be all end all how much cash you got in your bank. So as investors, we're dreadful. We sell a house, we'll make 50 grand, it's in the bank, tomorrow it's gone. Because this is just how we operate as entrepreneurs. We move it around and it's going on to the next one. So that's one KPI that you could use, is how much cash or cash flow goes into your account, or how much free cash flow is going into your account each month. One of the other ones is how much wealth have you got? How many assets? Well, I've got 10 houses, say, and they're paying 500 a month. Great, that's 5 grand a month. That's your cash flow. What's your profit? How can you get to 11? How can you get to 12? How can you get to 15 and 20 and 50 and 100 and 1,000 houses? That is another way of keeping score. So you've got to keep score. I've got a spreadsheet that goes back 10 years of me keeping score on what my rental income is, what my profit and loss is. I've got that information that goes back 10 years because I don't believe in a no-win situation. So that's data that allows me to improve this year. And it allows me to improve next year and cash flow forecasting to the years ahead. But you've got to start keeping score. It doesn't matter what the score is. And Richard, quite funny, said, I bet you go home and have a spreadsheet of how many wins you have and how many 3-point shots you got. And I got 4 blocks on Richard today. 4 is 4 more than I normally get. Just little touches on some of them. Although one of them was a big swatted him out about. It was really cool. But that was quite funny. He's like, I bet you have a spreadsheet, because he knows what I'm like on my spreadsheet. I want to keep score. I want to know what's my personal best. What weight have I been? And I can take my weight back 4 years. And I can look at what my body fat percentage is 4 years ago, all the way up to now, and it tells me a story of what my mental health is like, what my food habits are like. My food habits right now are dreadful, by the way, beyond dreadful are my food habits. I had a McDonald's yesterday, and then last night I had nachos, and then we're probably going to have KFC today because it's San Antonio here in Spain, where you basically take all your pets into schools. A bit weird, but anyway, that's what happens. But you've got to start keeping score. It's not that you're not going to lose in life. You're definitely going to lose in life. The key is, what are you going to learn when you lose? That is what I mean by the Kobayashi Maru. That is what I mean by, I don't believe in a no-win situation, because I'm always winning. Because when I lose, I learn, and that I can take that experience and I embed it to next time. But you've got to stay in the game long enough. Sadly, a couple of days ago, Richie from Highlander, the TV series, he's 51 now, and he killed himself. Suicide. 51. I don't know if you ever watched Highlander on TV with Duncan MacLeod, the cousin of Conor MacLeod. Anyway, he had Richie. Richie's died. He killed himself. You've got to stay in the game long enough to learn how to win. And if you're not winning right now, exiting the game is not a win in any way, shape, or form. I get the pain, and I get that you feel like there's nothing out there, but that's not how you win this game. You stay in the game regardless of how much it hurts. And I can relate to that because I've been there too. So you've got to stay in the game as long as you can, because the game's not over at 51. That's for sure. Like, we're going to live till over 100. On average, I reckon the average age will be over 100. I'm 47. I fully expect at least late 90s, even more than 100. I've said this in previous podcasts. The problem isn't dying at 67. The problem is living till 107. What are you going to have for your wealth and all of that kind of thing? Where's the money going to come from? There's no state pension. And have you seen the state pension? And inflation and all this other stuff? There's no state pension that's going to cover you if you're 107. And if it does, it's going to be by the string of your teeth. Is that the word? By the string of your teeth? Skin of your teeth. it's not going to cover you. So that worries me a little bit more. But you've got to go through life. You've got to take the knocks. What's the saying at the start of Jerry Maguire? You've got to roll with the punches because you're going to get hit. And it's not how many times you get hit, it's how many times you keep getting back up. Thank you, Rocky. So you've got to keep going with it. You've got to keep going. The game doesn't end until you decide it ends, or until you get taken out of the game for an accident or old health. But you've also got to recognize that you are going to lose. You're not going to get the mortgage. You're not going to get the property. Someone's going to beat you at basketball. But you don't lose at that. We call that experience. And confidence comes from two places. One, it comes from knowledge, which hopefully you're already getting. And two, it comes from experience. And when you get experience, my confidence increases because I lost that game. My confidence increases for next time because I can analyze how did I lose, what did I do, and step up to make sure I perform better on the next one. So the Kobayashi Maru still stands. I don't believe in a no-win situation. The only no-win situation you've ever got is when you die. That is a no-win situation. You ain't getting out of that one unless you can download your head into a computer. That's the only way I can see around it. But your exit strategy is death, basically. Anything else between now and then is an opportunity to learn, to improve. Well, Dan, yeah, but you don't understand. I've done this 18 times, and 18 times I failed. Guys, it took me 5 or 6 or 7 times to pass my driving test. It drove me insane. How could everyone else pass their tests except me? And I couldn't work it out. Really, really frustrated. But as long as you stay in the game long enough, that's the key to everything. Yeah, but you don't understand. I failed 18 times. Great. Number 19. Lucky number 19. Lucky 104. Chicken Soup for the Soul, I think, did he go through like 180 publishers? And he got turned down again and again and again. And The Secret got turned down so many times. The book by whatever she called. That stuff got turned down so many times. And I just kept plugging. So I don't believe in a Kobayashi Maru. You shouldn't believe in a Kobayashi Maru either. The reason for that is that life keeps on going. You keep getting second chances. And just when you screw it all up and you can make a complete mess of it, you're either about to turn a new chapter, and so you can delete that old chapter. And really, I'm talking about relationships here, where you had a relationship that didn't work out. And so I was 37 with 2 kids, and I'm like, who the hell is going to love me? 37 and 2 kids, I had this terrible relationship end, child abduction. I mean, some really horrific stuff happened in family court. Still not over, really. You just wait for the next thing to happen. And I was like, who the hell is going to want to be with me as a partner? And then I met my wife. And here we are, 10 years on, thriving, It's the end of one chapter. That wasn't a Kobayashi Maru either. That wasn't a no-win situation. It was just that the game had changed entirely. I started playing a whole new game. And look how that turned out. So you just got to stay in the game for long enough. That's what I'm saying, folks. All right, hope that's useful for you. We will catch up with you on Monday. We're live on Monday. We are not live on Wednesday because I'm traveling, although I might go live at the airport. And we are not live on Friday because I'm in business training. Although we might, again, try and go live for a few minutes there. Other than that, have a great weekend. We will catch up with you on Monday on the Business Growth Show. My name's Dan Latto, and we'll speak to you then. Have a good weekend, folks. Take care.
Hey, it's Dan here. Thank you for listening. Really appreciate each and every one of you. Please click like or subscribe to the entire podcast.